The sun does not rise gently in this place. It arrives with weight, with intention, as if it knows the power it holds over everything below it. Long before its full shape appears in the sky, the heat is already present, pressing down on the village like an invisible force. The air feels thick, almost solid, and every breath reminds those who live here that survival is an active process. The land stretches outward in pale tones of white, rust and ash, cracked and scarred, shimmering as though it were alive and restless. Even at dawn, the ground remembers yesterday's fire, radiating warmth upward through bare feet and worn sandals. Life begins in the narrow window before the sun becomes unbearable. People wake quietly, not out of habit but necessity, moving through their homes with practiced efficiency. These homes sit low against the earth, built thick and solid from salt, clay, stone, and generations of knowledge. They are shaped not for beauty, but for endurance, designed to keep the heat out and the cool trapped inside like something precious and fragile. Paths between them are narrow, casting thin ribbons of shadow that guide movement through the village. Time here is not measured by hours or minutes, but by the sun's position and the subtle warnings carried in the wind. Water is the village's most sacred presence. It is stored carefully, poured sparingly, and never wasted. Each drop carries weight and meaning, a reminder of how difficult it is to replace. Drinking is slow and deliberate, never rushed. Bathing happens rarely and purposefully, more ritual than comfort. Sweat is constant, accepted as a second skin, evidence of effort and life rather than discomfort alone. Clothing is loose and layered, light in color, meant to shield flesh from the burning air and stinging salt rather than to cool the body. Every detail of daily life reflects adaptation rather than resistance. Work does not stop because of the heat. It bends around it. In the salt fields beyond the village, the ground shines white under the sun, reflecting light so intensely it forces the eyes to squint even from a distance. Tools scrape against hardened earth as people move steadily, conserving energy, knowing when to pause and when to push forward. Caravans pass occasionally on the horizon, slow-moving silhouettes distorted by waves of heat, bringing trade, news, and brief reminders of worlds beyond this one. The sun dictates all movement, allowing no arguments and offering no mercy. Children here learn early. They learn how to listen to their bodies, how to recognize danger in dizziness or silence, how to read the sky and feel changes in the wind against their skin. Play happens in shade and at night, laughter quieter during the day, but never absent. Elders watch closely, carrying knowledge earned through decades of endurance. They teach not through lectures, but through example, when to rest, when to move, when the land itself is issuing a warning. At midday, the village retreats inward. Doors close. The paths empty. The heat becomes overwhelming, flattening sound and motion alike. This is not a time for living, but for waiting. Inside the homes, people lie on cool floors, sit against thick walls, and breathe slowly. Conversation is minimal. Energy is preserved. The sun is acknowledged as something that cannot be challenged, only endured with patience and respect. Generations have learned that fighting it leads only to suffering. As the sun begins its slow descent, the village exhales. Shadows lengthen and movement returns. Doors open. People step outside, stretching stiff limbs and greeting one another with quiet smiles. Evening brings relief not just to the body, but to the spirit. Work finishes, meals are shared, and the air softens enough to allow comfort. The land loosens its grip, releasing the heat it hoarded throughout the day. Night transforms the village entirely. The sky fills with stars so bright and numerous they seem unreal, as if the darkness itself is illuminated. Fires crackle softly, and people gather to talk, laugh, and tell stories passed down through countless nights just like this one. Voices carry easily in the cooler air. The ground, finally gentle enough to sit upon, becomes a place of connection rather than punishment. This village is harsh, unforgiving, and demanding. Yet it is deeply loved. Those who live here do not see only struggle when they look around. They see ancestry carved into walls and pathways, resilience embedded in daily rituals, and pride born from endurance. Outsiders may see extremes, suffering, and desolation, but the people see belonging. The heat does not merely surround this village. It shapes it, defines it, and proves, day after relentless day, that life can exist even where the world seems determined to deny it.